Yeah.
Tank is one of the most interesting fighters to watch because he's so different. His style is so different. You know, he's so economical. Like, he puts pressure on guys without throwing too many punches, and then starts to figure holes out. And the way he can explode and move in with one shot, my God.
Yeah, he very explosive. He's very explosive, and, you know, man, he be cracking them dudes.
People.
Hey, he be putting them to sleep.
Just cracking people.
Don't stop it on me, though. I'm not
When Joe Rogan caught a glimpse of Gervonta Tank Davis's new bulked-up physique ahead of his fight with Jake Paul, you could almost hear that classic Rogan reaction coming part amazement, part scientific curiosity.
I'm a giant Gervonta fan. I think that guy is so unusual.
Yeah.
His style's so unusual, and his like patience.
Yes.
Yeah. But he finds these openings and he sees them, but he doesn't go after them right away. He waits for the right time. He's so patient.
Right.
Like when you watch the early rounds of his fights, he's like at a world champions that are competing today at the highest level. He probably has the lowest punch count in the early rounds.
Yeah.
Because he just wait, but he also knows he's got that nuclear option that if he can crack you, most likely he's going to take you out. He's got massive confidence.
On his podcast, Joe Rogan didn't bother sugarcoating anything. After watching Tank's latest training clips, he laughed and said, "Dude looks like he's been forged in a powerlifting lab." And honestly, he's not wrong. Tank's shoulders are massive, his traps are sitting high like a bull ready to charge, and his overall frame looks way thicker than it did before the Ryan Garcia fight. Rogan, being Rogan, couldn't help but break it all down, explaining how the added muscle might actually boost Tank's explosiveness and how his punch velocity and hip torque could increase rather than slow down.
It's interesting, right? Like, you don't know whether someone's ever going to be able to figure that out or whether or not he's just going to keep cracking people.
Yeah.
You know, so it's part of the fun of watching it. I've talked to a lot of, like, real boxing purists. It's like, you can't rely on that style.
Right.
He's got to be busier. When he gets to the best guys, it's not going to work out. Like, well, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see because there's so many good guys.
But the real moment came when Joe compared Tank to a mini Mike Tyson with modern training science, saying he's built to detonate, not just box. Rogan even threw a playful jab at Jake Paul, joking, "If Jake thinks this version of Tank is showing up to win on points, he's out of his mind. That dude's coming to end it early." You could hear the respect in Rogan's voice. He genuinely loves watching a fighter evolve, and this version of Gervonta Davis looks like evolution on overdrive. Not literally on steroids, but in the way a fighter transforms himself to make a statement. Joe summed it up perfectly. This isn't Tank Davis 2.0. This is Tank Davis Unleashed.
You know, he got the skills, the power, he got the ring IQ to do good, but we haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, he's also wild. He's a wild fella, so he's fun to watch. You know, he's just a crazy dude. You know?
Yeah, coming from Baltimore, man, I think that's just his upbringing as well. You know, product of his own environment.
Yes, for sure. He's just so unique in his approach. Like, you know, he doesn't fight like anybody else.
So after Joe Rogan finished geeking out over Tank's new bulk and basically dubbing him a mini Mike Tyson on Overdrive, we shift to Wade Plemons' breakdown, and things get even juicier. You can tell this camp isn't just flexing for the cameras, they're crafting a blueprint. Calvin Ford's in the corner like a mad scientist with a clipboard studying every one of Jake Paul's habits, every twitch, every "that might hurt me" moment. This isn't light sparring. This is Tank sharpening the blade, studying angles, and locking his mindset into one thing only: total dominance.
Least serious you take Jake, and I've said this about everybody that's fought him, the ones that don't take him serious, the ones that say he's a YouTuber and everything else, they end up losing, or they end up looking like, oh, wait a second, this guy was a little better than I thought. They end up either getting taken by surprise or actually sometimes losing because they don't realize that Jake actually takes it serious. So this is good to hear. Just already right off the rip, they were already doing something.
Surprise. So tell me, you know, when did you hear about this?
They've been going back and forth for years, Tank and Jake. They've been going at it for years, and it would have happened sooner. You know what I'm saying? But we have hiccups in life.
And listen, when I say Tank is going after the body, I don't mean a little cardio work. I'm talking surgical destruction. He's carving Jake down like a Thanksgiving turkey, making every step forward feel like he's wading through molasses. Now here's where it gets savage. When you watch the footage, it hits you. Tank isn't just bigger, stronger, or faster. He's smarter. Calvin Ford's coaching isn't about letting Tank throw wild bombs, it's a calculated chess match. The mindset is clear. How do I make a 60-pound monster pay for every inch of reach he thinks he owns?
Be a guy that's targeting the body, and it's the best thing that Tank could do for this fight. I mean, trying to go headshot for headshot with Jake Paul when Jake's 7 inches taller than he is. I'm assuming he's going to have a bit of a reach, even though Tank has a kind of freakish reach for his height. I don't think that's a great idea. And again, you're at eye level with Jake's belly button damn near. So you're going to have to be able to land shots right there on the waistline. And it's probably the best idea if you actually want to knock Jake out in this fight, if you actually want a game plan, because again, it's an exhibition, but if you want a game plan to get him out of there, you have to attack the body.
I can already picture it. Tank ripping those body shots in combinations, Jake's hands starting to drop, and suddenly you're seeing late round fatigue setting in, opportunity knocking loud. You and I both know that if Tank lands clean like that, it won't just slow Jake down. It'll flip the entire fight on its head. And the wildest part? Everyone's calling this an exhibition, a spectacle, a circus. But from what these clips show, Tank's treating it like a world title defense. Because when Calvin Ford's in your corner, fear isn't a weakness, it's a weapon. So buckle up. This isn't Tank performing for Netflix. This is Tank orchestrating a takeover. And you can bet he's ready to expose every single crack in Jake Paul's armor.
Ridiculously hard for Tank to actually knock Jake out. That's like 70-pound difference, 60-pound difference. That means something. And Jake's not some guy that's never thrown punches. He's a relative novice when it comes to, skill level that Tank has, but still, he knows how to protect himself. And again, his body structure allows for some mistakes to happen that he wouldn't have to pay for like he would if he was 135 pounds. Point being, I would be impressed, if Tank knocked him out cold or dropped him with something, hurt him.
And just when we thought Calvin Ford's honesty was wild, Lamont Roach Sr. steps in and drops straight boardroom smoke on Gervonta Davis's business decisions. The man didn't throw punches, he threw contracts. He basically called out Tank for skipping a rematch and running to Netflix like, forget honor, I'm chasing algorithms. And honestly, he's not wrong. This Jake Paul fight feels like boxing took a detour straight into a YouTube thumbnail. I mean, try explaining this to an old school fight fan. Yeah, bro, Tank Davis is fighting the dude who used to prank people at Target.
It's not good. It's not good for the sport. A lot of people say, oh, money this and money that, but you gotta do business the right way. You know what I'm saying? You got guys on that other side, especially fighters, that take time out of their life, train, get their coaches and sparring partners. They go different places, travel. They best a lot of times in their career, and it's a lot. So, when they get back, they get news like that, it does not receive well. So, but we solid. We're gonna stand 10 toes down, man, and we're gonna see what's next for us.
But here's where it really gets interesting. Roach didn't sugarcoat a thing. He said flat out, you can't just break business and bounce for a bigger check. And I'm sitting there thinking, bro, tell that to half of Hollywood and every influencer with a boxing license. Still, he's got a point. If Tank really ditched that rematch to chase Jake Paul, that's like skipping the NBA Finals to play in a celebrity 3-on-3. Sure, you'll get the bag, but your legacy's giving you side-eye the whole time. Now don't get it twisted. Jake Paul can punch. But Tank's built like a pocket nuke with gloves. This isn't content creation, it's controlled demolition. And if Jake walks in thinking this is just another influencer exhibition, he's about to find out the hard way that Tank doesn't do collabs. He does consequences.
Tank is just so much more better than Jake Paul. And some people feel, well, Jake Paul is this big heavyweight that punches hard, and Tank's gonna find out, do you feel like this is going to be an actual real fight just underneath the term exhibition? And do you see the fight playing out when someone gets hurt?
I don't even want to talk on that fight, me. So I can care less about what it is. It's an exhibition, man. You know what I'm saying? It ain't nothing. He ducked that work. Yeah. He ducked that work.
Right after Lamont Roach Sr. lit up the room with his business lecture, his son Lamont Roach Jr. came in swinging like a man who's done being diplomatic. He said what everyone's been thinking. Tank didn't just skip the rematch. He swerved straight into the Jake Paul circus like it was Coachella. And the way Roach Jr. broke it down, brutal honesty mixed with a smirk. He basically said, imagine grinding your whole life for a world title, only to watch the guy who beat you jump into an influencer fight where the main debate is glove size. You can feel his frustration. Roach Jr. wanted the smoke in the ring, not Tank chasing clicks and camera angles on Netflix.
That reached the rematch fight versus Gervonta after this fight?
Who knows? He said he's retiring. I believe him. Honestly, I think he's scared. So if he's going to retire, I believe he's going to retire.
You think you'll retire after the exhibition match?
I think so.
Why do you say that?
Because we get scared.
And look, I get it. The Jake Paul fight has dollar signs spinning like a Vegas slot machine. But legacy doesn't live on TikTok. If Tank really plans to hang up the gloves after this one, that's like a superhero retiring mid-series because the merch sold out. Jake Paul's 200 pounds of content creation, and Tank's a human missile with gloves. This fight's either going to be the shortest main event in history, or the most expensive marketing masterclass since Logan boxed a weather app. Either way, let's be real. Boxing officially feels like it went from HBO drama to YouTube reality show overnight. But we'll all still tune in, because when Tank Davis steps into that ring with Jake Paul, one thing's guaranteed. It's going to be viral, violent, and very, very expensive.
Jake Paul and Gervonta fight. The weight, the ounces on the gloves, 12 ounce, and then, Calvin was asking to get the 10s. What do you think about that? And people who don't understand that.
I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about their fight per se. I really don't care. I don't care about their fight.
Here's the wild part, man. This fight feels less like a boxing match and more like a social experiment in real time. You've got Jake Paul, the internet's golden boy of chaos, stepping into the ring with Gervonta Tank Davis, a fighter molded in the heart of Baltimore's toughest gyms. It's influencer culture versus real fighter mentality, the algorithm versus the art form. And the craziest part? Both sides actually need this. Jake's chasing legitimacy, Tank's chasing legacy beyond the usual boxing bubble. It's two worlds colliding just to see which one bends first. But here's my hot take. If Tank cracks Jake clean, that's not just a knockout, that's a cultural reset. That's the moment boxing takes the internet back from the influencers. But if Jake survives, maybe even drags Tank into the later rounds, oh man. We might be witnessing the rise of the most hated success story in combat sports history. Either way, this isn't just a fight. It's a battle for who controls the spotlight next.
Jake Paul is good enough where people say, oh, he's terrible. Jake Paul is not a world-class fighter. I don't care how a person feel about that. Fighters that started in their formative years, like we did, 8, 9, 10, we got too much time in. Jake will never catch up to that. He'll never catch up to that. We just got too much time in.
And that's what it all comes down to. One's chasing greatness, the other's chasing validation. But both are risking everything that defines them. When those gloves touch, it won't just be about punches. It'll be about whether authenticity still beats the algorithm. Because if Tank Davis lands that Baltimore bomb, he'll remind the world what real power looks like. But if Jake Paul somehow pulls it off, we might be talking about the biggest plot twist since McGregor versus Mayweather. So tell me, what do you think? Is Tank about to drop Jake faster than hotel Wi-Fi on fight night? Or is Jake really built to handle that Baltimore smoke? Drop your predictions below, debate it, roast it, defend it. I'm reading every take. And hey, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Warrior Ascend, the home of real talk, wild takes, and zero filters. Catch you in the next one.